Hi guys, welcome to Flowing with Sid. I am so excited to come today with a new full body mat Pilates routine, and I have props. I got finally my own set of ankle weights and a band, so that's what I'll be using for our practice today, ankle weights and a band. But just like all of my practices, you can do this completely with just body weight, no props needed. If there's anything else you want for your practice today, towels, blankets, blocks, feel free to make those choices. We're gonna get started now sitting onto our mats. I'm starting with just my ankle weights on. And I'm gonna sit down on my mat, lining up my toes with the front edge of the mat. I'm just gonna rock and roll my way down and just taking that a couple of times just to massage the back. Good, getting used to those extra weights added if you're using those ankle weights. And then eventually we'll make our way onto our backs here, where we'll hug the knees into the chest, give yourself a nice little squeeze, starting to soften those hips, maybe starting to rock side to side here. Good, and then bring the hands to the tops of the knees, and we're gonna figure eight them. So draw the knees out and around and back together, out and around, back together. One more time, out and around, back together. And then we'll pause, reverse rotation. It's moving in the opposite direction. Good, and then bring your knees back through the center. From here, we're gonna lower our feet down to the mat. We're gonna start to find that deep core activation here. So I want you to connect your lower back with the mat beneath you, so feel that nice solid connection. We're gonna keep that with us through these next few movements. And we're gonna start with our diaphragmatic or belly breath. I like to bring my hands to my low belly to help me with that tactile quality, help bring another sensation to the breath. I'm gonna breathe in through my nose and allow my belly to fill like a balloon. Exhaling completely through the nose, allow the belly to draw back towards the spine. 5 more deep belly breaths right here. Last 3. 2 more, keep that back flat. 1 more. Good. That belly breath is so good about connecting our deep core, helping to activate our diaphragmatic breathing. And just like any other muscle, sometimes it might feel a little funny to get started, but the more you do it, the stronger it becomes, the more comfortable it feels. So from here, keeping that low back flat, we're gonna bring our arms to our sides, and I'm gonna tabletop my legs. Now you can choose feet pointed or flex, it's up to you. I always just say that when you have the choice, to make sure that you keep it consistent. On your next exhale, we're gonna hinge from the hips, but keep that knee bent. We lower to hover or maybe tap the mat. Good, inhale, we draw back to center. Exhale, hinge from the hip, tap or hover. Inhale back to center. So we're alternating our toe taps here. But again, I want you to stay connected to that low back and the mat. That is really our focus here. And maybe thinking about a suction cup, creating a suction cup between the lower back and the mat beneath you. That's gonna keep that nice, strong core wrapping around itself and turning on. 20 more seconds here, alternating. Knee bends, we hinge from the hip, we tap and lift. Exhale, hinge, tap, lift. Exhale, hinge, tap, inhale, lift. Good, couple more times here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We come back to center, and then from here, our arms are gonna come to our sides, palms facing down towards the mat. We're gonna take our inhale, head and shoulders will lift. We'll slide our fingertips forward, hands will come to a hover. Notice here, I'm keeping that nice long neck, so some space between my chin and chest. Think about resting a delicate egg there. And then again, on your exhale, we lower down and relax. Inhale, we curl up and lift. Exhale, lower down and relax. And we're gonna keep that going. Inhale, we lift and slide. Exhale, relax. Good, keep that low back connected. Belly button zipping towards spine. Beautiful, guys. Here for 15 more seconds. Inhale to lift, exhale to tap. Last 5. Inhale to lift, exhale to tap. Keep those knees stacking for 3. Inhale to lift, 2, and 1. We inhale to lift and hold. Fingertips are going to come to the sides of the head. Open your elbows out wide to the sides of the room. We're going to connect our right elbow with that stack of knees, twisting. Inhale, we extend. Point the toes forward. Exhale, opposite elbow, we twist and tap. Inhale to extend. Good. Take that side to side. You can tell by my shaky voice how challenging I find this. Inhale to extend, exhale to tap. Good. A nice thing to think about anytime we're doing these kind of twisting crunches is to think about that shoulder blade connecting with the knees rather than the elbow. That's going to keep the arms nice and long. 15 seconds. Inhale, reach. Exhale to tap. Inhale, reach. Exhale to tap. Inhale to reach here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back through the center. Whoo! Legs to the sky, nice little legs up the wall. Point and flex the feet, circle out the ankles, relax your head and shoulders. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to keep our head and shoulders relaxed here for a moment. We're going to do our leg lifts. So your arms can rest at your sides. You might like though to bring the hands underneath the lower back just to give you some support in that space. We still have that connection, the low back flat to the mat beneath us. And then from here, we're going to lower down that right heel. Good. Inhale, we point to lift. And then exhale, we flex to lower. Point to lift, flex to lower. Point to lift, flex to lower. Keep alternating those leg lifts. Point to lift, flex to lower. Point to lift, flex to lower. Now, those alternating positions of the feet, pointing and flexing, I think are always a great challenge, not just for the different muscle groups that it's activating, but also for the mind. Sometimes I'm thinking, should I be pointing or flexing? And I'm just making sure that my mind is staying active in my body. Good, here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Legs are long. And then from here, I'm going to keep my right leg extending. I'm going to lower my left leg all the way down to the mat. Good, so pointing my right toes towards the sky. Arms are going to rest at my sides, maybe beyond the edges of my mat. I'm going to reach my right leg forward, keep that low back connected to the earth, and then sweep it around. Leg circles. These movements look really easy, but they're always so challenging. I want you to think about the position of your hips here. We want to keep the hips and low back connected to the mat throughout that circle. So if you feel like you're wobbling all around, see if you can slow this down. Really come back to that strong core through the center. Good, one more in this direction. And then we're gonna do 3 more opposite direction. Back through the center. Good, you can press into those hands, press into those hips. Back through the center. One more, out, and back through the center. Good work, guys. We're gonna switch it out. Right leg is long, left leg to the sky. Same thing, one direction, out and around. Keep those hips grounded, pressing into the hands, back through center. Out and around, back through center, out and around, back through center. We pause, reverse rotation, second direction. Think about keeping those hips grounded, pressing into those hands, low back. Is it still connected to the earth? You're gonna hear me say that over and over again. One more time. Out and around, back through the center. Beautiful, both legs are long and we're gonna hug the knees into the chest. Breathing here, rock side to side. This may be the perfect time if you have water nearby to sip the water. 2 more breaths to reset. Good, and we're gonna make our way onto our sideline, preparing for some lower body. So I'm gonna bring my right hip down to the mat, but first I'm gonna grab that band if you have it, and we're gonna incorporate that here. So I'm gonna slide that band above the knees. Good, and then from here, I'm gonna bring my right hip down to the mat. Stacking my knees, ankles, and hips, I'm setting up for my clamshell. So I'm starting with my right hip down, doesn't matter, we're gonna do both sides, so if you took your other side, that's okay. I'm gonna connect the heels of my feet and then open the knees. Think about the feet as a spine of a book, and then close the book again. We lift and open and close the book again. So I have my right forearm down to the mat. That's just keeping me upright. We wanna be mindful though of that right shoulder, that we're not collapsing into it. We're keeping that upper body nice and strong, that side body nice and long. Good, we lift and close, really working with that band. We lift, peel it open, and close. Beautiful, here for 10 more seconds. Lift and close. Feet are still connected, lift and close. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, we're gonna close the knees, and then from here, we're gonna lift that entire top leg lift and close. We're gonna keep that going, leg lift and close. Now I want you to notice the position of that top leg. See if you can drive it forward, so towards that wall in front of you, really emphasizing that stack of the knees. That definitely brings sensation to the glute for me. That upper hand, you can have resting forward, anywhere to really keep you grounded in this shape. Always feels good to really hit a full body mat Pilates program. And it's very easy to do. So much of our Pilates practice does incorporate the full body. So that core strength throughout, and then legs and arms, you're gonna get it all. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna hold that lift, heels tap and lift. Heels tap, short one here, you got it, and lift. Good, keep those knees hovering, tap and lift, just 20 more seconds. Tap and lift, keep it going, tap and lift. Last 10, I'm so guilty of this. Can you lift that top knee a little bit more? Tap and lift for 5, tap and lift for 4, tap and lift. Last 2, tap and lift. 1, close it out. Oh my goodness, hello glute. Okay, we're gonna extend our legs long here. And then I want you to bring yourself onto your right cheek. So you're turning a little bit, so my heart is now open, my hips are now open, and I have my right arm down to the mat. Catch the breath first. We're gonna take our inhale, we're gonna reach that left arm back, and then on your exhale, this is why it was so important we were on that right glute, we're gonna do a twisted crunch. Knees bend, we crunch, elbow to knees. Inhale, we reach, right glute. Exhale, we crunch. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, we crunch. So my right hip is balancing, left hip is kind of hovering here. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we crunch. Almost there. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we crunch. Last 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Those knees will bend. We're gonna press ourselves up. We're gonna take a mermaid stretch. Whew. From here, we'll bring our hands to our shins. Inhale, for me, it's the right arm. And then exhale, we fold over those shins. Good, feeling that length through that side body. Good, on your next inhale, we lift through center. We're gonna take a twist. So I'm gonna bring my hands down to that front edge of the mat. Coming down to my forearms. Good little twist for the belly. Heart space turns down towards the mat. nice and toasty. One more breath right here. Beautiful. We're gonna set up for our second side, pressing into the mat, and I'm just gonna take a turn. So now my left hip comes down to the earth, and we start again with clamshells. So I'm stacking my knees, my heels, and my hips. I've got that left forearm down to the mat, and I'm pressing through that arm to protect the shoulder. Right hand is in front of me for support. I peel and open, close and tap. Again, thinking about those feet as the spine of a book, they're staying connected. Peel and open, close and tap. You guys are doing so good. We've got that same series that we just did, legs, onto our second side, and then a little plank work to close us out. Nice full body activation. Last 30 seconds. You can tell I was excited about all of my props, but now I'm like, whew, who thought about using ankle weights and bands? That was a crazy idea, but here we are, you know, doing the hard work. Last 10 seconds. Sorry, heavy breathing into the mic. 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna keep the knees stacked. We're gonna do that leg lift, so top leg peels up and then closes. Try to keep that 90-degree angle. And again, be mindful of the position of that right knee. I want you to drive it forward to really emphasize that stack. Peel open the band and close. Remember, like I said, all my practices can be done with or without props. So if you're really wanting to focus on your alignment, on your body weight, that's totally fine. Forget the props. You're still gonna get lots of work, I promise. 25 seconds. Top leg lifts and close. This definitely feels like my weak side, or maybe I'm just really tired today. Last 10 seconds. That's okay too. You know, every day is different. I also haven't had any coffee, so maybe that's to blame. Here for 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna keep that top leg lifted, short one here. Tap the heel and lift. Tap the heel and lift. Tap the heel and lift. 20 more seconds. Keep that top leg lifting and lift. 15, tap and lift. Last 10, you can do it. Tap and lift. Top knee lifts. Tap and lift. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That one is spicy. Doesn't seem like that crazy, but definitely is. Legs will extend long. We've got that twisted crunch still. That's pretty crazy when the twisted crunch feels like a break. So our legs are long. I'm bringing all of my weight onto my left hip, and then I'm gonna reach my right arm long. And then on my exhale, I'm gonna lift and crunch. Elbow connects to the knee. I'm still balancing on that left glute. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, we crunch. Keep that going. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, we crunch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Toes point for extra spice. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach. Heart opens. Exhale, crunch. 15 seconds. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. My left hand holding on for dear life. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's do one more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. Into our mermaid knee stack. My right hand's gonna rest at the shins. My inhale, lift, arm lifts. And exhale, side body stretch. That was spicy. One more exhale here. Then we take our inhale up and over, little twist. I'm gonna bring my forearms down to the mat. Heart space towards the earth. That's where we're creating the twist. Our heart space is down to the mat. Our knees are still towards the sides. 15 more seconds again. Perfect time. Towel off, sip your water. Like I said, we're gonna close this out. One more series, planks. All right, let's close it out. Forearms are pressing into the mat. I'm gonna bring my hands down to lift myself up, and then I'm gonna draw the knees towards the earth. And we're gonna step this back into a high plank. So my shoulders are stacking over my wrists, my fingertips spread wide. I'm pressing the earth away. And then from here, I'm gonna lower down to my forearm, hips in line, high plank, hand, hand. Now we're gonna move between those two shapes. Take your time, forearm, hips in line, high plank, high plank. Keep that going, forearm, hips in line, high plank, high plank. 20 more seconds. Remembering to breathe here. For our alignment, our shoulders are stacking over our elbows and then our hands. Hips stay in line, nice long line of energy through the crown of the head. 10 seconds, forearms, hips in line. High plank, high plank. Here for 5, forearms, hips in line. High plank, high plank. Shift it back, downward dog, 5 seconds, catch your breath. Good, let's go back to it. High plank. We're gonna bring it down to the forearms and hold. And then we're gonna take some rocks. So hips in line with the body. I rock forward on the tippy toes, rock it back, heel slide. Up onto the tippy toes, back heel slide. Up onto the tippy toes, back heel slide. 10 more seconds, up and back. Up and back here for 3, 2, 1, neutral. Elbows over, shoulders over the elbows. We're gonna walk it in to a pike. Hips over the shoulders. And then walk it out, forearm. 15 seconds, you can do it. Walk it in, pike nice and high. Walk it back, forearm, hips in line. 5 more seconds. Walk it in, pike nice and high. Walk it back, forearms, hips in line. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Hips down, knees down. Take your time. Find your breath. Thank you so much, guys. Let's do a little heart opener here. Forearms down to the mat, fingertips spread wide. Inhale, open your heart, draw your shoulders back. Relax the low back, the hips. Sweat literally beating down. Good, we're gonna press those hands into the mat. Make your way to a kneeling or seated pose. Oh, thank you so much, guys, for flowing with me today, for really getting that full body mat Pilates work. Thank you so much. If you want to pair this with any one of my other videos, maybe a nice stretch, or maybe you want to keep that Pilates fire going, please feel free to click on anything down below. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.